Hello, everybody. Yeah, the election news. That's pretty much. I figured we all deserve just a chill, fun news day. I think. Vera Wild said we should bully Mom Donnie to hold him accountable. I thought we didn't bully anyone anymore after Hogwarts Legacy. I am not sure what the correlation is there. I feel those are two very different things. Blue Wave live stream. Judeo Christian was always a psyop. Oh, these guys are great. Yeah, DEI and trans for everyone. Trans for everyone. Hey, Poyapan, it has been a while. I haven't seen you in a minute. Hey, Jackie Sands. What else? Who else? Who do I want to see reactions from? Oh, yeah, we gotta go. Timcast. Why is his picture that? Why that? God. Trans upon ye. Live election. No commie Mom Donnie. Good stuff, dude. Oh, did Tim have a Twitter meltdown? No, you got it. Mel, you got it. Cuomo. Aaron Kustachin and Zoom Toomble, thank you very much for following. Also today, over on Twitch, for every, I just got a notification, for every 10 subs on Twitch, I get 250 extra biddies, which is pretty cool. So if you haven't subbed over on Twitch, I really appreciate it. I have a loose plan. First off, thank you so much. Savvy Writes Books, friend of the show. Savvy is in the chat. Why? Oh, that's what that is. I'm kicking something. What is it? So thank you for watching Savvy Writes Books. Let me scroll back up real quick. Guess what? I'm packaging a million stickers again. I was hoping someone I liked would stream. Thank you. I am trying to stream more consistently, and I think my schedule moving forward is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I think. And maybe Sunday. We'll see. But I need to be a lot more consistent about streaming. On the subject of the, like, Twitch subscriptions and YouTube subscriptions and all that stuff, I want to thank, I don't want to dox anybody, so I'll just say, Robert, thank you very much, because fan of the show wrote into me a couple weeks ago when I was talking about wanting to upgrade and, you know, needing to invest in all that, and they sent me a computer, and I have it actually right here. Give me just 1 second. A nice, barely touched computer that I am hoping to be able to use for, because what I would really like to do, the reason I haven't done, one of the many reasons I haven't done any longer, like, streams before, not before, but in a while, is that it is so hard to stream on my laptop because I have to basically set up everything, and that's the only thing I can do for a stream. Like, I cannot use a browser. I cannot switch lanes. Like, so once I set things up, I am going to be streaming with Discord open and playing a video game, and I'm not going to touch anything, because if I touch something, my computer will melt down. That's very frustrating. So what I'm hoping to do now, and again, if you want to help out, it would be super chill. Money is getting really tight this month. Donate to the Ko-Fi links, the links down below. Ko-Fi is the best way to donate because it goes directly into my account. But I need to get because I'm still working off a laptop. I have a screen I can use as a monitor. I need to get a keyboard and a mouse. And probably a new USB like splitter. But once I have that, I can start going in more on things like streaming. I'm so excited. Yeah. Anyway, huge thank you to Robert. I can't Merit LVW. I think I will throne for it. I have a throne and I used it like years ago, and since then I don't chill it a lot. I haven't used it a lot. It was actually kind of funny. Throne, when it was first starting, I jumped on it because I didn't want to go through the hoops of like Amazon wish listing when I was doing more like like modeling work and stuff. And so I would just throw on lingerie and outfits and stuff on Throne and people would get them for me. And it was funny because there was one thing, I don't remember what it was, but I got an email from the Throne team and I ended up being on a phone call with the Throne dude because I was able to connect an account. I was able to connect my OnlyFans account directly to it. And they were like, how did you do that? What? How? What black magic? And I was like, the button was just there. It's your website, y'all. And they ended up crediting me like $50 on my account. It was very silly. Mackenzie L, thank you very much for $5. People in rural Kentucky and Ohio, where I grew up, in full-on cope mode. They thought MAGA would be forever, but finding out just how hated they are. So I had a really good interview today with a congressional candidate from Texas. And one of the things we talked about, and that interview will be up on the channel for soon. I will try and have it up tomorrow. But a really great interview. We talked over an hour just kind of about progressive policies, and one of the big things we talked about was how progressives can like reach out to traditionally right-wing or more rural voters or bases that are assumed to be more right-leaning, and how easy it is to just like appeal to pretty much anybody from an economic level. No, it is not the lesbian that is running for Congress in Texas, not to my knowledge. El Salve, thank you very much for $5. Happy for this victory. Celebrate with our super chats, Queen. You earned it. I appreciate it. Also, Aaron Dobkin, thank you for subscribing. I'm kind of obsessed with triangle symbols. Yeah, I'm very... Oh, hey, Gino, dear. Woof woof. I am... It's weird. It's a weird pendulum swing because between... You are fine. Okay, I need to feed Lady really quick. She's... No food for me. I know. Give me 1 second. Sit. Stay. Good girl. Good girl. Go get your food. Good girl. The Tall Twink, hello everyone. Good news, everyone. Once again, Juno Deer appears in chat and Lady wants attention. Much to think about, much to think about. She sees the competition. Jolanda Jones, that's the person I was thinking of. No, it wasn't Jolanda Jones. But it was a really great conversation, and I hope more people check it out. Jesus Christ. Trump admin to cut food stamps, only pay out 50%. Liberals are pissed. Yeah, everybody should be pissed. God. One day ago, Cuomo projected to win. Uh-huh. Hell yeah. Epic rant. Okay, yep. All right, let's start with Cuomo and then go to Jay Jones, or Mom Donnie and then go to Jay Jones. Ooh, you know who we need to check out? We need to go to ban.video. What if he becomes mayor of every city in the US? There we go.
100,000 votes so far with 0% reporting, but this is 818,000 votes in so far. So,
What? So, what, Tim? All right, I'll close that one out. See, like this damn computer. I'm so ready.
Right. Halsey now has Mamdani at 99% to win.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you see.
I love it. They get their shit from like
right now.
This is
fucking
like
betting sites.
Moment, but if MamDOMINATION is over 50%, then the Sliwa spoiler thing is just like a moot point.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's Captain Obvious moment, but it's true. Like all this hand wringing over Sliwa.
He's not going to finish at eight. He's not going to finish over 50%.
Yeah, him and well, it depends on where it got counted first, obviously.
Were you guys also
right? So this is still preliminary.
Staten Island's gonna go heavy for Sliwa.
Were you guys unsettled by the amount of conservatives who were willing to fight this losing battle for Democrat and kind?
God, I fucking hate. Look, they got the. Are those the collector? I think those are the collector bundles too. No, the collectors. I think we're in. No. I'm gonna look that up. That pisses me off seeing the Final Fantasy.
Cuomo should have dropped out and endorsed Sliwa.
Yeah, it was so ridiculous.
No, but the amount of conservatives who are lobbying for Sliwa to drop out and then just completely backing Cuomo as though Cuomo has never existed beyond 6 months ago is frankly, it's disgusting and it's pathetic. It's pathetic how sad Republicans are willing to like drop their guy and hop on board with a guy who literally hates their guts and would have called them a fascist
or kill their grandparents.
They are so mad.
Also, like counter-signaling the president a lot, and during these debates, he was saying that he wouldn't cooperate with ICE and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, because Andrew Cuomo's never counter-signaled the President Trump before.
Well, fine, but he's a Democrat. So
who is this fucking nerd?
This guy's a Republican, and we're supposed to be backing him, but he's not going to cooperate with like Trump's ICE deportations. I don't know if that's
he straight up said, "Don't deport illegal immigrants."
Yeah, I don't know if that's a guy worth like throwing.
He was trying to counter-signal the president.
This is one of the dorkiest dorks I've ever seen. He looks like somebody shoved Eugene Levy into a Matt Walsh suit. Like, he looks like a dad in a 70s porn that doesn't get to have sex.
So far as that's what you have to do in New York City to win.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Zeku. Thank you very much, first off, Zeku, for $5. Unrelated, but as a Halo fan, I was disgusted by the Homeland Security post recently. Not sure. Yeah, I have seen it. I actually, okay, weirdly enough, I've been on a bit of a Halo kick. Not because of that, but because of the Combat Evolved Anniversary thing. Cat. All right, now I need to feed Cat because she needs food. All right, give me 1 second. Dorkception.
Matter if
literally don't
what does
care.
It matter if you don't back Cuomo then? Like,
then if that's the case, Donald Trump should intervene in New York and just take it over under some kind of emergency declaration. If the point is that they are going to keep bringing in illegal immigrants and giving them some kind of lawful entrant status to alter fundamentally the structure of our government and our election system, I call that seditious conspiracy, and Trump should go Lincoln on New York.
every single one of these sanctuary
Trump should go
cities.
Lincoln on New York. That's fucking
you
adorable.
have to think about it
I call that. You and what expertise, Tim? Are you taking civics courses next to your fucking skate ramp? What the hell? I call that seditious conspiracy, and Trump needs to open up a can on New York City. Okay. Oh, man. The dude just wants to see The Division in real life. That's crazy.
This way, every illegal immigrant that the Democrats bring in, they are disenfranchising Americans. Every single one is further disenfranchising Americans of their votes and of their. Don't we care about democracy? Don't we care about like our democracy and what voting means? No.
Bold. Okay, let me get this straight. Okay. So, legalized citizens, some of whom are immigrants, voting for Mamdani as mayor to represent the population. Literally, elected representation, representative democracy. That's, to Tim, undemocratic. But the president arbitrarily deciding to take over one of the largest cities on the planet under military force is somehow A-okay? It's, man, I love it.
They don't care about it either. Because when they say our democracy, they're not talking about democracy that includes conservatives or includes people that disagree with them. They're talking about only with the people that agree with them.
They're talking about something they own.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
Yes,
They're talking about they own democracy.
Yep, those are
and
the
other
collector
people
boxes.
voting don't
That
own
fucking
democracy.
sucks, dude.
That's why Donald
Those are
Trump
like, well,
winning
they're
the
kinda
popular
gone-
vote,
they've
winning
gone
all
way
the
down.
swing states,
Yeah.
and they still swear up and down that our democracy is in danger because they didn't get the democratic result that they wanted. It's not about democracy. They're full of it. They're lying to you. It's all about them retaining power.
Yeah, and to what Tim was saying, I don't know if it's necessarily time to go full Lincoln. Maybe that's not a bad idea, but I think why have none of these sanctuary cities been like the mayors, Mayor Brandon Johnson or Pritzker or Hochul? Why have they not been like charged? You are harboring illegal enemy, like you are harboring like illegal foreigners. It is an invasion, okay? I'm sorry, that's what it is. Why have they not been charged? I don't know, like, oh, we're just gonna like go in there. Well, if they don't want to cooperate with ICE, then why do Democrats get to choose which laws they do and do not follow? Either we live in a republic and we talk like we have the rule of law, or we don't. And if we don't, then it's time to get serious. We need to step it up.
Oh, are we talking about Civil War?
I mean,
on the Tim Pool show?
I'm
shocked.
It's frustrating. It's just frustrating.
Well, and like, and it's on a variety of issues. Like, I mean, Elon Musk kind of propelled this talking point to the mainstream, and it's true. Is among the many things that are, destroying America with the current waves of immigration that are coming in. Like, the Democrats have huge incentive just from an electoral position because they can just import their own voter base. And yeah, so it's like it's about accumulating power. There's so many incentives obviously for immigration especially if you're left wing, but yeah, fundamentally it's like you can just import a voter. It doesn't matter what Republicans think.
You don't have to convince Americans anymore.
Right? Yeah, you can be like, oh,
you can say, hey, here's some free stuff that we're going to give you to vote for me.
Yeah.
God damn, dude.
I do want to levy some criticism at Kalshi right now. Can we pull this up? Andrew Cuomo is listed as orange. Zoran Mamdani is blue. And there are orange numbers flying up across the board. At first glance, you'd assume orange represents Cuomo. That's not the case. So the presumption is, I guess orange means Cuomo and Mamdani at the same time, depending on which metric you're using. I don't know. That's a weird way to do it, Kalshi.
They're selling dollars for 99 cents right now.
But that can't be right, can it? All of those orange numbers mean people are betting on Cuomo to win, but Cuomo's numbers dropping? That would have to imply that the numbers we're seeing are bets on Zoran Mamdani. But Zoran's blue, not orange. So I guess it just plumb makes no sense.
Plum?
None.
This is a bloodbath for Republicans.
Yep.
Tonight is a horrible night as compared to 1 year ago. I think something...
Cuomo just increased.
But I don't think
he's at 40% to Mamdani's 51.3. He just gained a couple decimal points.
But we're not necessarily learning anything tonight.
Jack's losing by 20 points right now, was it? In New Jersey. People were saying that...
These guys are fucking... I'm sorry, y'all. These guys are fucking unwatchable. I can't... Like, man... I'm trying to like find anything to even riff on with them, and it's just, this is like watching fucking paint dry. Okay, yeah, let's go to, I need some, like, look, this is, copium's all well and good, right? Copium is all well and good. That's what we're here for. We're here to revel in a little bit of a victory. But I need something a little bit more. I need a little num. Here we go. Alex Jones show. Now we're fucking talking. The War Room with Owen Schroyer. Wait, no. Is that Owen? No, that's Chase Geiser. Sorry, all these fucking dickheads look alike to me. Declares war on President Trump, capitalism, and traditional America in radical victory speech. Yeah, that's the good shit. Let's put that in my veins. Let's go. Oh, hello, kitty.
InfoWars. Tomorrow's news today.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the War Room. I'm your host, Harrison Smith.
Harrison
Coming
Smith,
to you live
goddamn, it
this
wasn't
Wednesday
either of them.
Afternoon. Glad everybody
It wasn't
is
Geiser
here
or
with us
Owen
today.
Schroyer.
We, of course,
Jesus
are going to be
Christ.
talking about the elections yesterday. The catastrophe of the elections yesterday. I don't want to blow this up into too big of a deal. I think most of what occurred was sort of a foregone conclusion, at least as far as I was concerned. MamDOMINATION, pretty far out and ahead for a while. It's not exactly a surprise.
Hello,
but it
Kevin.
is a supreme disappointment, personally. And I think it's a bellwether of what we can expect around this time next year if the Trump administration and the Republicans in Congress don't get their act together with extreme rapidity. So we'll cover the fallout of what occurred.
Alex Jones did lose the rights to InfoWars, and it's in a weird legal limbo right now.
Occurred yesterday. We'll go into some of the more important races.
What did I miss,
what we
Nehemiah?
can learn
Not
from
much.
them.
Not much. I'm putting.
Yes,
actually, Nehemiah, I am putting. So right now, if you see me looking down, it's because I'm logged into my throne. I will be sharing it on Twitter, and probably Blue Sky. If you want to help me get a new mouse and a proper keyboard for the new computer I was just sent, as well as some other amenities, y'all can donate to Throne and be able to help out directly that way. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Now, we will be saying we were right the entire time because we were, and we'll be pointing out sort of where the focus has been for the last couple of months and where it probably should have been, and moving forward, what the Trump administration needs to do to stem the bleeding, because right now they are basically dying right in front of us, and if they go down, America goes down with them.
Sure.
So we'll get into all of that, and I'll take your calls as well.
Buddy.
Let's begin today, as we do every day, with our Daily Dispatch. All right, here it is, folks, your Daily Dispatch for Wednesday, the 5th of November, 2025. Democratic wins in New York City, Virginia, and New Jersey dent Trump's coalition ahead of 2026 midterms, with Democrats achieving victory in at least 3 big elections. It laid out a path for revival for a party that has been dispirited and disempowered under the dominance of President Trump. And that sort of sums it all up, doesn't it?
I don't know, does it?
We had this massive, unexpected, the greatest comeback in the history of the world 1 year ago, and since then we have
greatest comeback in the history of the world 1 year ago, and since then. Okay, well, first off, I guess not. If it was such a great comeback, you think that there wouldn't be such a massive swing back to the left. This is something that I talked about. Oh my God, Nehemiah, thank you very much for $50 for the mouse. I was telling people, I forgot to say this earlier, but if you do want to donate, it is preferred, although I appreciate all donations, it is preferred through Ko-Fi or Coffee, Ko-Fi. Johnny Viral in the chat and Brutus Magnuson should be able to have links that they can post, because that goes directly into my PayPal. YouTube and Twitch donos take like a whole month to get to me. and they take a chunk out of it. So what mouse? A mouse for my new computer, so I can do proper computing and streaming, and hopefully more long marathon streams. Because what I would like to do is, did we get the Jarge? We did get the Jarge. Got the where is it? He's right back here. We did. We got the Jarge and all of his jory, all of his Jarge glory. Here we go. Awesome, Stella. Thank you very much for dropping that Ko-Fi link. Yes, my design is, because I still have a bunch of other. I have like 3 videos I need to edit tomorrow. It's gonna be a long day. I am pedal to the metal on the fucking Destiny piece on the documentary before the end of the year. But another thing I want to do is a subathon to 10K on Twitch. And being able to utilize the new computer for that will be a great way to, yes, I'll just hold up the Jarge for everybody to see how beautiful it is. Will be a great way to see, to put the computer, I think, through its paces for like a really long stream, like a proper marathon, like maybe a day or two. And B, I don't remember what B was. I got distracted by the Jarge. They call me the subathon. Do they? Do they, Juno dear? Do they? Yes, the Jar Jar watches the Jarge. Everybody, I love how many people are in chat. See, that's how I know y'all are real ones. And then and you're consistent in your viewing, because the way in which Jarge has become common nomenclature for the Jar Jar watch, you love to see it. Gay Asparagus, I should do a Domathon and a Subathon. TTBN Gaming, are you ready for Dark Woke? It's funny you talk about that. So one of the things I talked about, because I was talking about earlier, I did an interview that'll be up on the channel probably tomorrow, with a progressive candidate out of Texas. And one of the things I kind of asked about was like, why do you think, like we ended up talking about Dark Woke for a while. Yeah, it was just a really great conversation. If you've liked my interviews and stuff in the past with like Vivian Wilson, or the one I did a couple months ago with Kat Abagazala, go check that out, because I think it was a really great conversation with somebody who has a lot of really good ideas for progressive policy in Texas. Y'all are a bunch of degenerates in the chat. Hey, the Raider. Hey, Vesper. Howdy, chat. Bunch of people talking about domathons and subathons. Damn, I'm always yapping. I am always yapping, unfortunately. That's what they say about me. Hello, Kevin. What? Alrighty. Let's click play on this. I'm going to go keep looking for a keyboard.
Completely fumbled it, completely failed to entrench our victory, and have basically lost every game that we won over the last year. And I put most of that blame squarely on the state of Israel, but Republicans in America, they couldn't do it without them, right? They're a necessary component of that.
Nehemiah, thank you very much for $5 in the name of the Dom, the sub, and the Holy Switch. It's funny because now, because of my partner, oddly enough, because of my partner, I think of two things when you say that. One, the Switch being the Nintendo Switch, and then they are also, like, very obviously the sub. Savvy Writes Books here in Chicago. We love Kat Abagazala. I love Kat. Kat's so cool. I need to reach back out to her her team, because they reached out to me to do another interview. Or to have a proper like guest spot on the podcast, which was super cool. And then just, I don't know what else happened. Oh no, Kat got fucking assaulted by ICE agents, and yeah, we just like for obvious reasons weren't able to put something together.
Poisonous agenda. So we'll talk about again what has led us here and what we can do to get out of this mess. Democrats scored biggest win since Trump returned as 2026 looms, and it is looming. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court is deciding on Trump's...
He's not a good stand-in for Alex, is the thing. Like, he's so... There's a thing you get in places like this where you have this kind of top dog like Alex Jones is, where you have people who will then go and try and emulate that style and make it their personality, but without iterating on it at all. And that's what we're seeing here, where he doesn't have the verve. He doesn't have that zhuzh. And so it's just like, it comes across so flat when he's talking about and we are seeing it. When we see this, and we are seeing it, it's like, yeah, dude, we know. Like, I'm looking at it right now. What the fuck are you talking about?
Tariffs today. Supreme Court justices appear skeptical that Trump's tariffs are legal. The Supreme Court examined the legality of tariffs imposed by Donald Trump under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977, which critics argue is a misuse of the presidential authority. Now, bizarrely, the stock market rose today despite the Supreme Court signaling that it was not very happy with Trump's tariff decision, which is weird because as far as I can tell, if they decide against Trump and axe these tariffs, it's going to be like a major economic blow to America. The American government's going to have to return $90 billion. It's kind of a mess. Meanwhile, YouTube caught deleting video evidence of Israeli war crimes in Gaza. YouTube has deleted hundreds of videos in which evidence Israeli war crimes against Palestinians since October 2025. The NGOs affected warn this is part of an assault on truth, and a lot of people are getting struck down for this, even if they've never had a single mark against them for their entire YouTube career. They are being eliminated entirely for posting the reality of what's going on in Gaza. Meanwhile, Trump calls on Senate to eliminate filibuster, open government tonight, pass entire Republican agenda. We'll show you his statements. No shit. I'm moving farther and farther away from this being a good idea. I talked a little bit about it yesterday, but after the election tonight and the people's reaction to it, I'm sort of just giving up on the modern incarnation of the Republican Party, and I think if they did get rid of the filibuster, the only thing it would do would be open the door for Democrats to be insane. Okay,
wait. So what you're saying is if we got rid of the filibuster, because it's very clear now that there is at least some contingent of populism appealing to progressives, that the Democrats would be the ones to take advantage of that, as opposed to, you're saying the quiet part too loud. You're doing too much, buddy. You're doing the fucking well, yeah, but it's not bad when we do it. That's crazy. I forgot Wars is watching. I think there might be something going on with my headphones as well that might be filtering it. Sometimes scuffed audio comes through because it sounds relatively fine to me. That might be what's happening.
If the Republicans we have in office now didn't have a filibuster, would they do anything? Would they do anything with it at all that would benefit us? Absolutely not. Finally, we have this. Russia open to sending hypersonic missiles to Venezuela. What a wonderful can of worms we've opened up there. Another Cuban Missile Crisis coming down the pipe.
Again, all of this shit is because of Trump. Israeli war crimes? Ongoing because of Trump. Trouble in Venezuela. Issues with Russia. Ongoing because of Trump. Issues with the tariffs and the stock markets. Trump. What happened to, we won so big. It was such a good victory. Man. I like to imagine they lost sound mixing in the lawsuit.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is The War Room, Infowars.com, band.video. You can follow us on X at Infowars, at Real Alex Jones, myself at Harrison H. Smith, at War Room Show. Make sure you are following us as we continue to battle in the courts to remain open. We could be closed at any moment, so you're going to want to make sure you got the app. You're following us on X and any other place where we can reach out to you and continue communication should this particular outlet go down.
What if
things aren't looking good, folks?
He looks like a child dressing up as Markiplier for Halloween. He looks like a Temu Markiplier. I had a hard time maybe it's the face shape.
Things aren't looking good.
Maybe it's the trademark squint.
And it's not just that the elections didn't go our way last night. I didn't really expect them to. But the scale to which they went to the opposition is pretty astonishing. And the results last night should answer some questions that Americans have been dealing with. Or perhaps I should say they should eradicate some misconceptions that have been persistent in the minds of Americans. Republicans operate under this delusion that if you expose the left wing's lack of character, if you expose them to be hypocrites or whatever, that the Democratic voters will respond to that.
What?
And will think, gee, person isn't a good person.
What? Oh, this is fascinating. In what world is he living in where the Democrats are the ones who constantly have bizarre allegations, who are constantly cozying up to awful people, who are constantly doing all this shit, instead of being just fucking tepid, lukewarm bumps on a log like the modern Democrat incarnation of the party is? What is he talking about? It's pure projection. Yeah. What have they exposed? They're the ones in power, bro. That's okay.
Do I really want them in charge of, I don't know, law enforcement in the state of Virginia? And that by exposing these things, we will sway people away from them. I hope that deception has been eradicated at this point. Jay Jones, of course, won handily, as did Abigail Spanberger. People that had some of the most insane scandals during this campaign in recent American history. I mean, Jay Jones had his text messages leaked that weren't just making edgy jokes. Like, we made this distinction at the time.
Yes, they were.
Because at the time that the Jay Jones scandal was leaking, about half of the Republican talking heads and a good 99% of the establishment Republican talking heads were spending all of their time and all of their energy and all of their effort on condemning Tucker Carlson, I'm pretty sure, is what it was. I actually don't even remember it. No, this was the young Republican thing. No, I'm sorry. They were going after the anonymous underage staffers that were making edgy jokes in a private chat.
Okay,
That's
but
what they were obsessed
talking
with.
about again, amazing for thee, but not for me. Talking about gassing political opponents, saying that you like Hitler, talking about just outright Nazi shit, slurs, racial, homophobic, transphobic, and any kind of bigotry consistently over time. It wasn't just one or two jokes like Jay Jones did, right? Was it obviously a joke? Yes, because you could see people's reactions to it. You can see his reaction to it, where he keeps going at it, and the person responding is like, "Come on, dude." I mean, it's a thing everybody's had, where you tell a joke that's maybe you're a little drunk, maybe you're a little tipsy. You tell a joke that's not funny, you can't let it go. You keep going at it harder, and the other person is like, "Come on, let's not do it." That's pretty fucking different. That's pretty fucking different. Yeah. Also, underage staffers. Huh? Underage staffers? Those were 30 and 40-year-old men. Those were the largest boys I'd ever seen. Antithes, thank you very much for $5. He lives in a world of I know you are, but what am I?
At the time.
Not the underage 40-year-old.
I actually went back and looked at some major... events in the run-up to the election yesterday. And at every pass, when big things were happening, when Jay Jones's text messages were being released, or Abigail Spanberger was debating Winsome Earl Sears and just making an absolute fool of herself. We played the video here where Winsome Earl Sears puts a very simple question to her, and Abigail Spanberger just pretends not to hear it and just zones out and looks off into the distance. And it was like, what? What is it? But didn't stop people from voting for her. And at every pass, when Mamdani goes totally viral for not saying he would go to Israel as his first foreign visit as a emissary of New York City, at every pass, what the establishment Republicans were doing at the time were, well, in the case of Mamdani, it was trying to get us to go to war in Iran. That was the beginning of June of this year. With Jay Jones, they were going after the young Republicans. With Winsome Earl Sears and Abigail Spanberger, they were hyperventilating about Tucker Carlson moderately criticizing the military actions of a foreign state. So at every pass, the so-called mainstream establishment Republicans took their eye off the ball and were far, far more concerned with tearing down our side than focusing on the left. And of course, this is compounded by the fact that the left wing, especially in New York City, largely won specifically because of the topic that the right wing is constantly fighting each other over, support of Israel. So it's not just that the Israel first right-wingers have just been working to hamper the right-wing efforts and doing absolutely nothing to damage the left-wing electoral prospects in this country. But the topic of Israel itself has become like the primary driving factor in getting people out to vote, especially young people who went to Mamdani in an overwhelming fashion. On top of that, you have all of the immigration that has completely changed the demographics of our country to where if the demographics of New York City were what they were when I was born, Mamdani wouldn't have a chance in hell. As it turns out, the only group of people, the only demographic in the city that did not vote a majority for Mamdani were white males. Every other group of people, every other combination of identities you want to throw out there, every single one of them voted for the communist Muslim. White men, the only ones with the majority saying, maybe we don't give up our birthright to a hostile foreigner who still lives in Uganda most of the time.
He doesn't. One of the things I started looking at Joel Webbin. So, okay, first off, my Throne link is now up. I found exactly the mouse I've been looking for, and I found a keyboard that I think looks really good, and a stream deck. So if y'all would really like to help out with that, I've posted the link on Twitter and on Blue Sky. I appreciate anybody who's able to go help out with that a little bit. Big help to the channel and to getting a better setup so I can actually properly stream. Let's go. I want to see what, like, this is all well and good, but let me see what the big guy himself has to say. Unlimited Saidaku, thank you very much for $2. Why do conservatives make Dems sound cooler than what they are? I don't know. I wish they didn't. No, you know what? I wish the Dems were that cool. That's what I wish. Ayo, thank you for being a member for 13 months as a Democratic Socialist from California. I'm proud of my state for the percentage for Prop 50. Anyway, hello all. Let's bask in the victory and consolidate now. Hell yeah. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for. And everyone look at how much that Fuentes Carlson interview. I know, I love that mouse so much, Juno dear. It's so adorable. Johnny Viola, I might have a keyboard and mouse for you. Hit me up with some pics. Did I see the New York Post today? No. Oh, but I'm sure it's great. Oh, I'm sure it's good. Oh, no. I did. The big red apple, the fucking communism, Mamdani. Yep. Geoduck, Geoscience, gotta go. Have a good rest of your night, Geoduck. Yeah, awesome, Stella. Send me some pics. MSYU, do I need that Angel Dust cosplay? So some of the stuff on there is from when I was doing more modeling and when I was doing more like photo sets. And because I already have the rest of an Angel Dust cosplay, I was like, you know what, I'll do that one poison shot. If somebody wanted to buy it for me was the thing. And I still, like, here's the thing, don't get it, because I haven't even, somebody bought me a Femboy maid outfit like a year ago now, and I still haven't found the time to fucking do it. I hate it. Not the outfit, I hate that I don't ever have time. Alex Jones show. The Red Green Alliance. Talk show host and culture war veteran Gavin McInnes. Wow. Yeah. Hello, the Merry Spinster.
I think it's time for Muslims to start to say, all right, so what? Do what you want. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because it's about time to do that. And I know everybody has their own families and has an education and everything. It's just a question.
Hi, RDY 2018.
And we don't want to get suspended, and we don't want to get arrested.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fucking Gavin McInnes is somebody. Look, I've built up a lot of tolerances to a lot of right-wing people. Gavin McInnes and his weird bug eyes and his weird fucking worm neck that he covers up with that shitty beard. I cannot take it. I cannot take it.
How gangsta are you? That's just my question. How much are you willing to do it? And I know everyone has their own risk levels, but at the end of the day, that's a question to ask ourselves. How committed am I to this?
Give me 1 second.
To what extent of my personal material gains am I willing to sacrifice for this bigger noble cause?
So know this, that Islam will enter every house. Every house. Don't worry about the Islamophobes. They can yap all they want. Their children will be Muslim. So Islam will enter every house. What's the question? Are me and you going to be a part of it? Are we going to take that become that sabab, that means, so that Allah puts all of that in your hisab? So you can be a part of this great victory that's coming, and wallahi, it's coming. It's coming in every house, in every country. Today here in Australia, subhanallah, I'm sitting here.
Okay, so first off, probably not the best example to be like here in Australia. Okay, just because an imam, and hey, this might be one of those crazy, quote unquote, crazy radical imams that's talking about killing gay people and stuff. This is the thing that, yeah, these are different people in different parts of the world, notably. The most fascinating thing about the Mamdani stuff is it has exposed how little the rhetoric, the anti-Muslim rhetoric, has changed since I was literally a child. Since I was literally a child. Where it's just this like, oh, they just hate America. They just hate us so much. They hate freedom, and they just want to destroy everything and institute Sharia law. And like, it is the biggest religion on the face of the fucking planet. And yet somehow American evangelicals who exist in 1,000 different fractals over what they think is actually biblical, what they don't think is biblical, what this interpretation actually means, what this means, what it means to live in Jesus. Did Jesus die for you? Like, they can have that in their head, that there's 10 billion different ways to believe in Jesus Christ, but that every Muslim is somehow a monolith, that they all believe the exact same thing. And it's the thing that, like, when somebody because I've been poking some bears on Twitter, as I am wont to do. It's been a fun day. Somebody, I don't remember who I was shit talking to, but then people were talking about how, oh, Zoran is gonna, like, people like you wouldn't last. Islam hates queers. Islam hates, they would stone you in the streets and all that shit. Okay, so I've been to churches. I made a whole documentary. I've interacted heavily with a church that literally advocates for that. Not in an abstract way, that literally advocates for, like, me dying, me specifically, because of how I cause some problems. Look, not gonna lie. Exit 101, thank you very much for 5. And Claritin, thank you very much for subscribing. Oh, I love your medication. Maxwell DeGroat, Islam is absolutely bigger than Christianity. Thank you, Awesome Stella. Oh. Hey, damn. Okay, you know what? I'm fucking wrong. Christianity, 28.8%. Islam, 25.6%. Okay. Did that change over time? Garrick the Tailor, just remember you dox yourself on Twitter to own a chud. Yeah, that is gigantic. I wonder why I was so... There was something in my head that was like, no, this is absolutely true. I learned this somewhere, and now I'm wondering why. Because I was so fucking ready to throw down for that just absolutely being wrong. But hey, you know what? I can admit when I'm wrong. That's my bad. Bruce Magnuson, thank you very much for $10. Of the major U.S. politicians, every high-profile Muslim supports LGBT rights more than the average Democrat, especially MamDOMINATION. And that was another thing. Again, I'm actually really excited. The more I think about the interview I did this afternoon, the more I think about the interview I did this afternoon with the progressive candidate in Texas, the more excited I am for people to actually watch it, because I think it was a really great look at the kind of... It was a great look at what we need to really look at doing and have serious conversations about if we want to take the progressivism and the platform and the appeal of people like Mamdani and apply it everywhere. Apply it to the Midwest. Apply it to the flyover states. Apply it to the places that Republicans have been actively killing their constituencies for decades now, right? Yeah, I'm excited. I hope it. Can I tell us the name of the representative? Cameron. Oh, god damn it! All right, yeah, give me a second. Because we talked right before. And it was like Nope. Yeah, I can't even fucking find it right now. It was God damn. Give me 1 second. I probably have it in an email. But let's keep watching this real quick while I find it.
Here in the masjid that we have people all the way out past the second place. Look at this. Who could have...
Yep, there we go. Cameron Rowitz was the name of the candidate. Progressive running to connect Texas for all Texans. Family guy. Really smart, really great. Just and by the way, if you are in Texas, they will be having a town hall. Here we go. Open town hall Friday, November 7th, and you will be able to scan this right here, and I believe they will have a live stream up. So if you are disabled, you can't make it there, you can't, you're immunocompromised, anything like that, and you want to get involved in local politics down in Texas, if you're in this area. Texas is a big state, but yep.
Imagine these many Muslims in Australia, and it's not going to stop. You can stop immigration, you can stop whatever, you can do Muslim bans. Wallahi, it's not stopping. Because the Prophet ﷺ said it will enter every house.
By the way, hit pause on this punk. Well, you know what? I'm loyal to the West. I don't want to be put under your foot. I will not submit to you, and you've declared war on...
It's so fucking funny how they have to pull up to make it look like they are... that Zoran Mamdani is somehow doing this. They have to pull up something entirely unrelated and be like, I'm not gonna do this. You might want to think you can't. 1776. Like, come on, dude.
On me, and I accept the challenge, you sack of fucking shit. Fuck you. But he thinks if he can dominate us and crush us and take our daughters, that he'll finally be somebody. Well, you're not.
The fuck are you talking about? Kringus, thank you very much for $10. Hey, DD, cheers from New York. All hail Zorban Manicotti. All hail.
I can play hours of these, but here's one of his campaign people. Hadik Arzul Malik explains that electing him is part of a holy war for jihad. And there's just a shorter compilation of jihadis saying Islam will enter every house. Their children...
Can we... okay, so now he's like... Can we get the clip? Can we get who that person is and what they were saying? Or are you just going to say... Like, you could do the exact same thing and be like, and here's this clip from the Muslim Brotherhood. Here's this clip from ISIS. It's like... Yeah, because there are radical people, a part of every religion. That doesn't change the fact that literally it's a minority within a massive religion. Bomberman is here. Damn, that's crazy. Who's ready for Dommy Mammy? Oh, that's, you know what? That's not bad.
Will be Muslim.
Bad.
You can't stop immigration. You can't do Muslims bans. It's not stopping. If you fight Islam, I will fight you, even if you are my own father. Our sisters promote, and it just goes...
Wait. Hang on. H Bomber guy? Oh, I thought... I just read that. Is that the... Harris, is that actual H Bomber guy in my chat right now? What the hell? That's kind of crazy. Wow. Okay. If that is the case, Really quick, Blade Volant 546. Thank you so much for $10. Preacher's kid here from a dad who is well educated, could read Greek and Hebrew. I've taught various denominations' beliefs, and I can say they are as varied as Islam and equally contradictory. Yes. Yes. Exactly. It's one of the fascinating parts about the kind of the way I had to study the hate church and study the different, like, because as soon as I dug into the NFIB or the NIFB, and had to find the quote-unquote the doctrinal differences between the NIFB and the other ones, the IFB and, you know, whatever other evangelical sects are out there. It's like, ugh. I can't tell. I can't tell if Harris is actually in the chat. Unless that's crazy. That's bonkers. Hi, how are you? Check marked and all. That. Yeah, I feel pretty confident in saying that my fans, there's probably a decent 99% Venn diagram overlap between my fans and the H-Bomber guy fans. He has the verified tag. That's crazy. Thank you for being here. Wow. Actually, another luminary I think might still be in the chat. Savvy Writes Books was here a little bit ago. Friend of the show, Savvy Writes Books. If nobody has gone and subbed to her stuff yet, please go do so. But yeah, Harris. Sorry. Thank you for being here. And if you haven't yet, you should check out a video essay I did recently called "Your Nostalgia Is Not Your Own," because I would very much like to know what you think about it. Anywho, the 1% just hasn't bothered to watch yet, but has definitely heard of him. Almost certainly. Red Oni, is this guy trying to extrapolate something one Muslim said and apply it to all Muslims? There we go. Yeah, you got it. You nailed it. Oh yeah, and the Black Nerd Gaming earlier is also awesome. I liked, oh god, I forget the name of the dork he did a video on, but Black Nerd Gaming, TTBN, has been doing some really good stuff too. A much smaller channel, but they do good work. So you should go and follow and like their stuff too.
I mean, this is it. I can play you 20 hours of this crap. This isn't the anomaly. This is Islam. Here it is.
And the true believer knows that none of this is in vain, that this is all jihad, that this is all ibadah, and that this is all counted for by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the conversation...
I do want to ask for people, do they think, because again, obviously Islam and the vastly divergent sects of American Christianity are not one-to-one, but there are parallels, especially when you get into how certain words are used, how certain concepts have been weaponized. And so for scared Americans, and again, this is the thing I remember when I was a youth. The thing that people would fearmonger about was jihad. Like the jihad. Let's look up what jihad actually means. Global jihad. A struggle or fight against the enemies of Islam and for the protection of the Islamic community. The spiritual struggle within oneself against sin. Now, really quick, Solar Lander, thank you very much for 24 months. Happy anniversary. Thank you. God, wow. 2 years, huh? Oh, and there's Savvy Writes Books. Hi. Oh no, you're all good. You're all good. I just wanted to see if you were still here. Hello, cat. My cat wants to say hi. Doop. She's so sleepy. Boop. She's so sleepy. It reminds me of the way, because jihad is something that was, it was used and weaponized by radical Muslim terrorist groups. But as a concept and as a word, it is not inherently like this evil, bad thing. Do I think knowing that, probably not the best word to use? Like knowing the connotations that people like Alex Jones have with the word, I might personally be a little bit more, picky about when I choose to employ it if I was a Muslim. But it's also not my faith, and their words have different meaning to them as part of their faith. That's fine. What I find funny is how people like Alex Jones will get all up in arms about somebody using a word like jihad, but then even people on his own team. Wait, where are you going? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Text me. Okay. Hello, puppy. Yeah, Rab Adler, that's exactly what I was thinking. Even people on his own team will use words like crusade. Will use crusader-like language. Yeah, the Maestro. Jihad also doesn't have to be violent. It's basically the Islamic version of missionary work. And yeah, Allah is another thing. Arabic-speaking Christians still call God Allah. Inshallah is enough to get people fired up these days. And that's just like a meme. Like, what's the word? Inshallah. It's a word for my beloved. Or someone that you love. Someone it's shorthand. Yeah, Allahu Akbar is another one. Habibi is another one that has kind of just wormed its way in. I think that one probably has more to do with, like, I feel like Hassan started saying it on stream at some point. I'm not sure what the connection there, but I feel like the first time I heard somebody say Habibi outside of, like, a foreign film or something was Hassan. Habibti. Maxwell DeGroat, one Christian writer I know, kept using words like apocalyptic and demonic when talking about queer people, and then saying there was a special theological meaning, but he knew what he was doing. Yeah, great. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Not gonna lie. Oh my gosh, thank you so much to everybody who's already donated and helped out with the throne gifts. I appreciate it so much. That the mouse already is going to come in such incredible use, and will be definitely put to good use. It's actually funny how things come together, because I've had so much of the stuff I've had and I make use of is near the most, like, bottom of its life. So if you'll notice, I'm still wearing the same headphones. I did not replace the headphones, because even though somebody donated money for me to go out and buy new ones, again, that dono money doesn't come through until next month, and I don't have the money to just, like, go out and maybe I'll put that on the throne list. But what I did was, because at a certain point I was like, you know what? I'm used to doing it this way. I'm used to literally, and this was me, since I was a kid, it is, you use something till the wheels fall off. It is why you buy things that are slightly nicer or slightly more expensive, so they are better quality, so that you can just patch them up yourself if you need to, instead of having to buy new ones. So, like, I glued and gorilla glued everything in this ear back together. I don't want to show anybody because it's so janky and so terrible. But that's beside the point. The point is, before that, my mouse had just stopped working. Couldn't tell you why. It could be the fact that I'd been using it continuously for almost 10 years, and before that, I think I got it as a hand-me-down from somebody getting rid of like office supplies, and it was just a basic like $10 mouse. My chair, very much the same way. This chair gives me a lot of back pain. I need to replace it, but I just make do really until I can, and it's been really nice to have like somebody help and donate the computer. Well, it wasn't. I paid for it. It's not a donation. But help out with the computer. People helping to donate with the mice and everything else. I really do appreciate it because it does help encourage me. I can't really convey how it feels to constantly be trying to push myself, to constantly be trying to make new videos, and constantly be trying to, all by myself. I don't have an editing team or anything. Try and cover bigger topics more concisely with more meticulous research, and put green screen effects and all this other cutaways, like all sorts of shit, and then all have to fucking make do with my janky ass setup. And so it feels like a little bit of proper forward momentum and progress, and I don't know. I guess I wouldn't be able to do that with everybody's help, and I really appreciate that.
Of doxing, the conversation of getting arrested and suspended. I think it's time for Muslims to start to say, all right, so what? Do what you want. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, because it's about time to do that. And I know everybody has their own families and has an education and everything. It's just a question. We don't want to get doxxed, and we don't want to get suspended, and we don't want to get arrested. How gangsta are you? That's just my question. How much are you willing to do it? And I know everyone has their own risk levels, but at the end of the day,
Agent Silver, that absolutely sounds so I've started covering up my chair whenever I step away from it, and I've been doing this for a while because it's that shitty like fake leather, and it is chipped off so long ago, so it just looks like a nightmare. So like honestly, if you want to email me or DM me on Twitter or anything, or if you're in the Discord server, feel free to message me, and it might take a minute to get the money for shipping, but if you'd be down, I'd be willing to try and work it out. Yeah.
that's a question to ask ourselves. How committed am I to this? To what extent of my personal material gains am I willing to sacrifice for this bigger noble cause? And subhanAllah, I truly believe that when your heart is in the right place, if you get suspended, if you get doxxed, because it's bound to happen when you're doing a righteous cause and when you're doing something for the sake of Allah here in the West, it will never ever be in vain. And the true believer does not fear that, because the true believer knows that the akhirah is a promise.
So know this.
Okay, again, they're switching back and forth between these entirely different things, but they have to, because everything she's saying is just the most basic baseline expression of faith and the trials and tribulations one might maybe have to go through. Like, what she's saying is no different than what a ton of I've heard Christian preachers of all stripes, of all severities talk about. The trials and tribulations, the thing that the world will throw at you, that you have to, suffer through. We all have our own cross to bear, like that kind of stuff. It's not, Oh, Comrade Girl, hello. And then somebody else. Omaha Socialist, thank you for finally got to stream my hero. Hero.
That Islam will enter every house. Every house. Don't worry about the Islamophobes. They can yap all they want. Their children will be Muslim.
Play it
By the way, hit pause on this punk.
Oh, okay,
and these guys have the rules in the Quran. These are the imams, okay? That
it's funny because, and again, forgive my cultural ignorance of like Muslim countries and whatnot. Muslim kind of religious culture. To my understanding, the imam is essentially like a priest, a reverend, a pastor. Like, is that about correct? Are any of these people like tangentially involved with Zoran? Apparently, the one lady is his intern. Like, and that's the closest they got. Which, for a massive campaign like that, I sincerely wonder if she ever even met Zoran. A rabbi, yeah. Oh, Queer Cranium, thank you so much for the Ko-Fi. Yes. So, yeah. The way, it's so funny, the way he talks about imams is like they're the prophets in the covenant. Like, and this is the prophet of truth. This is the big bad guy with the floating chair, and we'll lead them on the great journey is what they believe. Okay, my throat, I can't do that. My throat is still recovering from being sick. That's going to kill me.
If your daughter, your 8-year-old, is not a Muslim, he can kidnap her, use her in sex slavery. They can deal drugs to you. They can do anything because you are a kafir. Kafar. You are obscene. You are an infidel.
Kafir.
And just listen to his arrogance because he's just so used to us laying down. You don't go over to his country and teach the Bible, they'll kill your ass. Like that.
His country, he was talking from Australia, bro. What do you...
Because they're territorial. And they believe the whole world's theirs. See, there's two types of nations. Islamic nations and those that are about to be Islamic nations under this punk. And in Europe and in Canada, it's not as bad here.
Does he think that imam
89-90% of the Muslims never get a job.
Zoran?
They're on welfare, or they make their wives go out and work, and they sit around in their nightgowns and run their mouths all day. Well, you know what? I'm loyal to the West. I don't want to be put under your foot. I will not submit to you, and you've declared war on me, and I accept the challenge, you sack of fucking shit. Fuck you. I want a new crusade, not to go conquer the stinking Middle East and open the borders up and bring them all over here.
Again, okay, like literally perfect. Queer Cranium, thank you very much for the $40 to the Ko-Fi. I appreciate it. He is, I guess he's technically talking about Mamdani. Remember when we were just talking about how they are so afeared, they are petrified of language like jihad, but then he's talking about launching a new crusade against the Muslim world. What last time white people had a crusade against the Muslim world, famously not good, no bueno. It's like real bad.
Here, like the globalists did at the behest of Israel, but to free the West of the bondage of expansionist Orthodox Islam. Continue with this arrogant sack of filth.
All those people of Taif, go to Taif today. Show me a kafir there.
The people. I got the whole Democrat Party and the New World Order and the ADL and all the Islamic.
The funniest part about him melting down about Mamdani having the blessing of the whole Democrat Party is that famously he doesn't. Like Chuck Schumer, very likely, unless it came out, Chuck Schumer was very coy about who he actually voted for between Mamdani and Cuomo. And unless it came out otherwise, I fully think he voted for Cuomo. Like Hakeem Jeffries was a day or two before being like, yeah, I don't know if there's a place for him in the Democratic Party. Again, so much rhetoric from conservatism, and the spreading of that rhetoric has to do with flattening everything that might have a little bit of a nuance in a discussion to just these monoliths. It's why you get these just singular entities or these ideas from people like Alex Jones, Trump, Elon, like these ideas that there's this rainbow coalition of communist, Marxist, Jewish, Muslim, caliphate, Antifa, George Soros funded, leftist, socialist, Democrat moms for liberty somewhere out there that every single person who disagrees with them just agree on everything else. It's fascinating to me.
Groups all coming after me. You think you're going to hide over at your golf course a few more years, screw your kids, screw the future? You're going to let what's happened to Europe happen to us? You're the enemy. Not this garbage. You're 10 times worse than him. I'm serious. Go back to this filth.
الثقفي, this قبيلة is from Taif.
Who?
Great mujahideen, great ulama, they came from the children of those that used to throw the stones. Today, from some of the...
He's not even watching something by Zoran.
Everything. All I do is target practice like once a month, so I'm proficient. And I love West. And my listeners are going to awaken the West. And no matter what color they are, Patrick Bet-David is what you'd call, Arab background, whatever, but he's a Christian and he's a great patriot. He does great work for liberty and he promotes the nation and has hundreds and thousands of employees. He is good. He has joined the West. He defends the West. He is now the West. And they want you to reject the West by saying all evil comes out of white.
Yeah, and as you're watching, you can practically see him just picking words out of the ether. Like
people make up all these lies and get the world to reject the West because the tyranny of the globalist New World Order, technotronic, AI, transhumanist system, 200 square foot apartments, eating bugs, poison injections, it's the main enemy. It can't sell itself when it's selling up against.
The thing, by the way, that like Elon Musk is enacting on people. Like fucking what? All right, let's. I want to see him actually reacting to Zoran. Like that's all well and good. That's all well and good. But let's get to the good stuff. God damn.
No doubt about that. I appreciate your call.
Are we live? Is this live?
All right, Greg in Ohio on the election and markets. Go ahead.
I think we're live.
Yeah.
Fuck it, we'll do it live. Or not.
Alex, I think one of the things we're missing here a lot is the focus on markets. Markets tell us a lot, and so we get this election with Mamdani. Markets were on a tipping point yesterday where they could have gone quite a bit lower stock.
All right, this is boring. I don't know. I do not know how the Knowledge Fight guys do it. Vitoval, thank you very much for following. Ma, thank you very much for $5. Alex is haunted by the same dream every night. Hillary and Ushanka with an anarcho-fem pentagram symbol blasting trans flag laser colors at frogs. The red, green. Oh, I'm already on it. Okay. Bomb threats. Powerful interview. Censored info. Damn. What a just rogues gallery rolled into one picture. That's bonkers. Gavin McInnes looking at a picture of Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes. That's terrible. That's terrible for me. That's terrible for me.
Now, the globalists and their alliance with Islam has gotten the jump on Europe and gotten the jump on the UK because of the leadership opening the draw.
Wait. When you say Charlemagne B. Parker, do you mean Charlemagne the God? What? Yeah, I'm also used to green.
And the United States is in deep trouble as well, but not in as bad a shape
as Europe. Is this the Communism Frog Alliance that they're talking about?
Which, barring extreme measures, is unsalvageable.
Oh, I think
now, the globalists have openly said since the 40s that Western free societies are too popular, too successful, too amazing.
Parker.
And so they had to be infiltrated, they had to be undermined to be brought down. The globalists do not want prosperity. They want to.
The globalists do not want prosperity. It's funny how they determine, because so much of Alex Jones's rhetoric is based in this conspiracy space of defining, a Illuminati, defining a globalist group, never quite saying it's Jews, even though he very much dances around that. And I think the fascinating part about it is how much of this has kind of trickled down into the mainstream of conservative consciousness, especially when it comes to, the idea of trade deals, of joining the European Union, of joining not the EU. Fuck. Why am I blanking on it right now? The thing, NATO, Jesus Christ. And it's this excuse to enact these isolationists. It's partially isolationism, which Trump and his ilk also use to wrap their brand around ultranationalism, right? They do it to say, we are focusing on America. But that is so obviously, like we talked about on the last stream, it's so obviously untrue when you look at all of the deals that Trump and his ilk make that personally benefit themselves, that the administration will then look away from things like, pardoning crypto billionaires, the UAE helping massacre civilians or backing civilian genocides because Trump has crypto investments with them through World Liberty Financial, all this shit. If you missed that stream, I will be doing a stream highlight video coming very soon to the channel. Like I mentioned, we have a couple other videos coming soon as well. And it's fascinating because none of it feels in step with the actual reason why MamDOMINATION won, or why MamDOMINATION was elected, which was a broadly progressive, populist economic message. And you saw this in the debate, you saw this with Curtis Sliwa, you saw this with Cuomo, as anytime they would interact, MamDOMINATION stayed on message. And that message wasn't, by the way, just, lowering rents. It wasn't just the rent is too damn high. There was the populism and message of representation, of creating this big tent, of people not being left behind. And this is what I think really made so many people go, yeah, I'm going to fucking work for this guy. I'm going to beat the street. I'm going to fucking canvass. I'm going to go door to door. Because the shit that makes somebody believe enough to do that is when he is doing, podcasts and interviews with drag queens, when he's going out and hanging out at gay bars for Pride. Because it's one of those things that shows more than just empty sentiment. It is not just, throwing some like, oh yeah, no, we love queer people, we want to make sure they can do this, and like just generic problem. But it shows a understanding of what a coalition really looks like and what it really means to not only be a part of one, but to try and lead one. It's one of the things that I think people have been I think a lot of people on the left want to immediately do what Trump is doing, in that they want to, once they have power, shut out the input from anybody else. But that's not how a coalition is made. So when MamDOMINATION is talking about how I am going to be, a New York mayor for all of the Jews in New York, after he has been getting nothing but nonstop bullshit Zionist allegations of being an anti-Semite and a monster and all this stuff, which of course he's not. He has met with Jewish faith leaders. He has done all these other things. But his response isn't to say, yes, I'm going to shut all of those people out. His response is get in the party bus. Like, get on in here. Let's talk. Let's work this shit out. I think that is part of the refreshing aspect of MamDOMINATION, is it finally feels like somebody who is not a career politician in the way that Schumer and Jeffries are, but somebody who is also community minded and somebody who understands the value of compromise, of understanding, that you cannot just be bullheaded. You cannot just stick your head in the sand and push forward and brute force your way into representative democratic power. That's not the way it works. And there's no profitable and good coalition that is going to be made by ignoring certain groups. So yeah, it like all of that. I've kind of had that bouncing around in my head for the last couple days. And then of course, after the wonderful Senate candidate conversation I had this afternoon. Sorry for saying congressional candidate. I got Cameron mixed up with Kat Abigzala because Kat, I believe, is running for Congress. So, yeah, sorry, just kind of rambling about Zoran. Yeah, Zoran was definitely someone who understood solidarity as well. He refused to throw a single community under the bus. And it's another thing of like, it feels like they just... He feels, in a way, it feels like Prometheus, giving fire to humans. Like here is the thing you need, right? And the Senate Democrats and the mainstream Democrats just like not knowing what to do with it. Hellion Vision, DD, do you have any fear of MamDOMINATION following a more traditional Dem path down the line? Really hope for him, but always stay cautious with any politician. And that's fucking fair. I mean, maybe. Like, representative politics changes people. I think a lot of people, and you've seen this with AOC, and like, you can call it AOC whatever you want. People call her a sellout, shill, whatever. At the end of the day, odds are none of the people critiquing from the left have come within a fucking sniff of as much elected power as she has, and doing as much good to represent ideas like socialism on a big stage as she has. Even if it is, a kind of a DSA college after party version of socialism, the idea of representing tenets like that with conviction, with dignity, in the face of just some of the horrible wretches for years on end. It's not a fucking easy job. And so it's one of those things where I constantly have to like temper my expectations with what I imagine must be the realities of a job like that. And it can't be fucking easy. Like, elected politics is a constant game of compromise. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. Whether through willful ignorance or not, is you have to be willing to give and get. And they are not always mutually exclusive. They don't always come in equal amounts. But you can try. And I think trying is better than, I know people who are like more accelerationalists about like, oh, anything that's bad that happens is good because it will push us towards a collapse. It will push us towards all of this other shit. And it's like, okay, well, I think people should be taken care of. And I think we have a system and we have everything we need to make sure those people are taken care of. And there are so many people who are starting, I think, to realize that. Another thing we talked about with Cameron today, the Senate candidate, was just the idea of like, even the people who voted for Trump are realizing all of this shit, like the 2 and the 1 aren't equaling 4. Like all of this shit, like you're telling us, people down in Texas, that the border is under siege and we're under a constant invasion, yet you're sending thousands of Texas National Guard to other cities, to Chicago and Portland. Like this shit, your narratives aren't making sense. Hellion Vision, thanks DD, great take. Trying to ride the hope wave hard. Words are easy, but I'm hoping he shows us action. I think he will. Like even just the fact that he fucking like just got after that shit. Like today he already talking about like the dude does not rest on his laurels, and I like that. The other thing I was saying is that like the wait and see approach is I thought about the Graham Plattner thing a little bit more, because I need more water. My throat's getting a little bit scratchy from just talking constantly. So give me 1 second. But remind me, I have a thing to say about Graham Plattner.
Sabotage society. We all know that. That's their stated goal, from cutting off energy to cutting off food to dumbing the population down. And you bring in Islam by the 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 million into the West that is 100% non-compatible with the West and is virulently anti-Christian and sees anything Western as Christian and has a blood oath to conquer it by the sword and destroy it. If you think the jobs leaving New York and all this is going to teach people a lesson, no, it's not. It's part of a larger plan. And half the world's been under it. So the general public kind of thinks of this as like, well, okay, I'm not a communist for this. I'll have to leave New York. It's already too expensive. It's going to get really bad. The crime, all of it. The criminals coming there to go wild. All the welfare people. Oh, no, New York's not going to have a population decline from this. New York and Chicago and L.A. will be and the Seattles and Portlands is where all the illegal aliens and all the criminals run, just to have a bloody orgy feeding on each other as more and more state funds pledged by the Democrats flood in for all the benefits and all the SNAP and all the health care and all the rest of it. This is premeditated under the Kalergi plan and the replacement migration under the Cloward and Piven program to collapse us. This is the admitted plan. Like, we're having a shutdown to have leverage over the Republicans to give us what we want that'll bankrupt the country.
Okay, yes, sorry. Happy Dick Cheney. Hellion Vision, I can't get with Graham. Already showing he's going to be hard to trust right off the bat. Yeah, and I think, okay, so, but here's the thing. And somebody, because last stream we talked about Graham Plattner a little bit, and I expressed a very similar sentiment. And I thought about it more because somebody was saying something about how they had followed a similar trajectory as Graham did. I think there are a lot of people. We've talked about Pat Tillman on the stream before, but there are a lot of people who were formerly in the armed services, or who were leftists within the armed services, especially who fought in the early 2000s in the War on Terror and have set about really trying to, with the understanding that they cannot just, right every wrong, they have set about trying to do what they can, right? And I think, I have a friend that we've had on streams that we've done interviews with, Elena McLaughlin, the trans MMA fighter, who every time there's some shooting, videos of her go, or a picture of her goes viral. And that is somebody who was in the military. Yeah, the Raider. I have a friend, somebody I know here in my town, on the YouTube chat, the Raider, somebody who was also former military. I think it is easy for people, again, this is part of the idea of coalition building. It is easy to pass judgment. It is much harder to try and understand, right? It is easy to pass judgment on somebody, call them baby killers, say, oh, they worked for imperialism, they did all this, that, and the other. But then what is your criticism supposed to mean if you don't give them a chance to grow and change? Right? It's I think it goes hand in hand with the Contra meme about they don't want power, they want to critique power. I can't believe the number of friends my mom talks about in a past tense because they died in the Middle East. It doesn't shock me at all to see a leftist contingent in the military. The Raider commenting right after that. I was in for 20 years and now I spend most of my time protesting, organizing, doing Spokane Pride stuff. Yeah, military is coercive. I've talked about it at length. Yes, and Mixed Peacekeeper, you're correct. Alana wasn't just former military; she was in special forces, actual black ops killing people shit. And now Alana is I would say a very hardcore leftist, somebody who is incredibly well read about things like economic populism, about advocating for leftist causes. And I think you have to kind of weigh. It's hard, right? Because you have to give somebody a benefit of the doubt, but also try and temper yourself for the disappointment. And people do change if you let them. Drax's Stormscale, Mr. Plattner has not expressed any contrition or recognition that he could have done something not okay, correct? I believe he has. I haven't kept up with it enough. I would have to look into that more. But that's mostly where I kind of I reassessed my position on Plattner. Because there are still, the thing with Plattner is that there are still so many fucking weird things about him. There's so many just little that really rub me the wrong way. But Merritt, IVW, veteran here, deprogramming myself from the right, joined because medicine was a passion of mine. The military is the best place to learn and get hands-on experience. Yeah. He has LMAO. Okay, yeah. If we want to give him a chance to build up a progressive career and show his change now, but taking a chance on making him one of the few senators now is just too much. I mean, at a certain point, if that's not my state, I don't really have a that's going to be up to the state that he belongs to, you know. All right, let's keep watching Alex.
Well, the American people shouldn't be leverage. But again, they abuse their people, but their people are so dumbed down, from the soccer moms to the welfare queens to you name it, that they just can't think ahead of their nose. They can't even think a month out. They just I'm going to get a bunch of free stuff. Oh, you're going to get free tuition. You're going to get free health care. You're going to get free. And then what do they get? Almost nothing. And the illegal aliens get triple what welfare queens get. Because you're already here. They already got your vote. They need an incentive They need to put cheese out on the mousetrap to get people come in to get it, so they can get more seats through the census in the Congress for blue.
This is just so... it was way more interesting before when he was yelling at the imam, because this is just like bottom basement barrel fucking... Like, it's Alex. It's conspiracy theorizing. I don't know what am I expecting? What do I want? What the fuck am I doing, Jordan? Why? Oh my god, my head is not screwed on right now. Sorry, I'm thinking about 3 different things right now. iClone, is it better to be an illegal alien than a welfare queen because you get a 3x multiplier on all your Soros welfare dollars? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Let's a pinch of beers. Ooh, that's fun. Let's go see what one of our favorite commentators has been melting the fuck down. And you know what? We'd love to see it. For Charlie. All right, shut up. I don't care. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. New Yorkers hand their city over to a third world Islamic communist. Hit me with the good shit, Matt. Come on, buddy.
Today, Matt Walsh Show, Democrats pull off a clean sweep in Tuesday's elections, putting a foreign communist in charge of New York City and voting for a man in Virginia who fantasized about murdering his political opponents. What can we learn from this? What should we be doing going forward? We'll talk about that.
Do we think that his takeaway is going to be that it's just going to be like murder? His takeaway is just going to be like, yeah, we need to get ready to fucking kill people. Twangy asshole, shut up.
Most prominently, we've watched the right-wing commentariat rip each other to shreds over offensive group chats and podcast guests and so on.
Now, by the way, the offensive group chats and podcast guests he's talking about are actual Nazi, actual anti-Semite, like unbelievably racist, misogynist sack of shit, Nick Fuentes being on Tucker Carlson's podcast. Can't imagine why people wouldn't want to associate with him, Matt. And then the other half, which again, I can only assume, based on a trend of Matt constantly making excuses for people being explicitly racist, that Matt himself is completely fine with it. Because the exact same thing is, if you open up and look at that fucking group chat, that's what you'll find. Nehemia, thank you very much for $5. Found a critical drinker type person you can easily dunk on. YouTube name Sinatra Says. Ooh, okay, I'm going to play this. I'll write that down real quick.
Well, congratulations. While conservatives have been arguing with one another and administering purity tests to determine who's a legitimate part of the movement and who's not, a unified Democrat Party just elected an attorney general who openly fantasizes about murdering us, watching our children die in our arms. Less than 2 months after Charlie Kirk was shot to death in front of the entire world, Democrat voters backed a candidate who wants more conservatives to die because of their political views.
God, I wish the
Dems
Dems were united.
A demented CIA operative who grins when she's asked about her support for this attorney general live on the debate stage. Additionally, Democrats flipped something like 10 seats in the Virginia House, ensuring that these
Banana Brains, do you know Sinatra Says? I've never heard of this guy.
Can do whatever they want once they take office. And we know what Jay Jones wants to do. He's told us. In fact, every single county in the state of Virginia, even the ones that ultimately went Republican.
Does he think that Jay Jones is just going to start killing people? Does he? Well, we know what they want to do. Does he?
Republican shifted heavily towards Democrats last night. You can see those results on the screen right now. This was a total blowout in the state of Virginia, which is home to more than 1 million immigrants concentrated in the north and hundreds of thousands of government employees who are concentrated in the south. Those are people who are furious that their government salaries, which are really a form of welfare in most cases, aren't being paid out.
Holy shit.
Due to the government shutdown. And now they're making it clear
Thank you so much to the person who got the Elgato Stream Deck, the keyboard, and the other thing. Thank you so much. Holy shit. I appreciate it. You are fucking... Let me see if I can find a note or anything, but you have been goated.
If conservatives don't want to pay them, then conservatives deserve to die, basically. And meanwhile, as Republicans feuded relentlessly with one another, Democrats also elected a Muslim socialist from Uganda for the explicit purpose of destroying the nerve center of American capitalism.
Holy shit. Thank you so much.
Get your government-run grocery stores and your free buses open to every vagrant and schizophrenic in the city, says Zohran Mamdani. But of course, you also have to pay for all of these free perks in the form of higher taxes. And you won't find Mamdani riding on one of those buses or standing in any of the bread lines without armed guards.
Bread lines, yes, he will. He does believe in this like Stalinist version of... Man, that's so good. Could you... Here's the thing to fight for. If nothing else, just the simple pleasure of next year. Think of the midterms. Think of if we can keep up the momentum we have now. And that includes educating people, reaching out to people, forming these coalitions, the things that we've been talking about. I want you to think of, and this is a small benefit, right? This is one sprinkle on top of a beautiful, beautiful cake we can all make together. But that one sprinkle, and it's going to be so delicious, is going to be watching people like Matt Walsh whine next year and the year after that, all the way until we take the White House back. It warms my heart. It really does.
Because despite what his platform might suggest, he's not anywhere near as stupid as he looks. So what happens when New York runs out of people to tax? What happens when they all flee to Florida? What happens when free buses mean...
What happens when New York, where Wall Street is? What happens when the place where we keep all of the money and trading runs out of things to tax? Huh? I don't... Huh? I don't think they're worried about it, champ.
Means that no one can ride the bus anymore because it's not safe. Mamdani and everyone else in the Democrat Party, they know the answer to these questions. The answer is that New York will transform into Uganda.
Okay.
Now, ask any conservative, and they'll describe that outcome as a failure. But Democrats don't see it that way.
What the fuck is he even talking about? They have... I knew there was going to be some malding. I knew there was going to be, people complaining about stuff. I did not anticipate just the immediate... Like it's like when you go too quickly into cold water, right? Like you're like, oh shit, and it shocks your system. I think that's what people like Alex and Matt are going through because they've spent the last year being like, oh yes, we've won, wokeness is dead and over, and Trump is the best thing in the world, blah, blah, blah. And then they just get fucking dunked in cold water when somebody who advocates for progressive policies on an economically populist platform that actually knows what the fuck he's talking about gets elected on a broad populist wave. And it just, like, it's breaking their fucking brains. Like it is literally they're just trapped in their own cells, like the hit film The Cell, just living with their own bizarre concocted fantasies. No, they're not ready for woke 2, dark woke,
and neither do their voters. And here's why. Imagine for a moment that you live in Kenya, and like most Kenyans, you make about $1,000 per year. Yes, $1,000 per year.
Okay, and imagine let's not talk about currency conversion. Did he bother? What do we want to think? What do we think that if he actually researched that really quick? The average annual salary in Kenya is approximately $7,000 as of 2023. Like, he couldn't even get that right. That doesn't factor in living expenses, yeah. Average salary in Kenya per month is low living costs, low minimum wage, and informal work economy. Wokio drift. Oh, no. I'm not assuming Matt is making a good faith argument. Although I can't really trust any of these fucking websites either. Median monthly income is about $590. So they're making more, according to this website, in 2 months than he's talking about for a year. But okay, Captain Beard, please continue telling us everything you know about things.
Imagine that, like most Kenyans, you don't even have access to clean drinking water, much less reliable social services. And that's what you're used to. And then imagine that one member of your family manages to get to America. They fake an asylum claim and move into an apartment in New York where they don't pay any rent thanks to some pro bono legal services offered by a nonprofit or a law firm. What do you think their top priority is going to be?
Is there a lot of free rent in New York? Dog, we just had a mayoral campaign run primarily on the talking point of rent being too fucking high. And you're telling me that rent is free because of lawyers? Fucking
they're going to look after their family back home. And their home is Kenya. They're going to collect welfare from the U.S. taxpayer, mail it to their relatives overseas. And they're going to support whatever candidate will allow more of their family members to come to New York and partake in the city's vast array of free services, which are not really free because they're paid for by Americans who actually have jobs. Now, they don't care, not even for a second, that New York City will ultimately collapse as a result of this. In their eyes, the worst case scenario is that New York will eventually resemble a country like Kenya, a place they're familiar with. They're from there. That's their baseline. And they're not afraid of it. And besides, they have no tie to New York or to the country. They don't care about it.
I love this idea that because you are born a place or because you're not born a place, you can care about it or not care about it. But in this same fantasy, he is also creating this character that moved away from a place, so they don't want to be there anymore. So then why would they try and make the new place like the old place if they didn't want to be in the old place? When I go somewhere new, I don't want to make it like the old place. I would have just stayed at the old place. What the fuck are you talking about? Have a good rest of your night, awesome Stella. Woke Day the 13th, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
They don't love New York. They don't love America. They just got here. So if that city falls apart, they can just move somewhere else. And when that new place is drained of all of its resources.
Drained of all of its resources. A virus. Like he's literally doing the Agent Smith speech from Aliens. Not Aliens. What the fuck? Matrix? Aliens? What? Why? Hey, chat? Hey, chat? Hey, chat? Can you come here for a second? What the fuck? Why did I say that? Huh? Aliens? We got there. Yeah, we got there.
And it collapses, well, they can just move on again. And so on and so on and so on. Ask the people voting for these candidates in any state that held elections last night, and they will admit all of this. I'm not speculating. They'll tell you this. Just ask them. So consider this interview that aired on CNN yesterday featuring.
Okay, please. Yes, please. Tell me about all of the tens of thousands of people who voted all have the exact same opinion on this. I did get
a woman from Kenya named Mariam Jaradi. Now, this woman doesn't say that she supports Abigail Spanberger in Virginia because she likes her position on corporate tax rates or something. Instead, she supports Abigail Spanberger because Abigail Spanberger, is going to allow more foreigners from Kenya to enter the country. That's it. Watch.
I always vote since I became a citizen, and that was 20 years ago. And I migrated from Kenya originally. My family's back home in Kenya. And
so this woman is an American and has been for 20 years. At least. I mean, I don't know how old she is. She might be 40. Let's say, judiciously, over half of her life she's been here in America. Naturalized as a citizen. So, dude, your fucking entire point is bullshit. This person didn't come here illegally, isn't squatting. They have been here for multiple decades, building a life for them, probably their family, contributing to society far more than a lecherous cancer like a podcaster like Matt Walsh. Good God.
And, how I see how things are going on, like with families being separated. As a human being, as a mother, separating families, especially children, from their mothers or fathers. I don't believe in that. So that made me come out and also come and vote.
So this woman has apparently lived in America for nearly...
Again, they need to find clips to justify the end point that they've already arrived at. Before they sat down, before they started making these videos, before all that shit, they arrived at the point. Yes, that was a couple days ago, Awesome Stella. I thought you were going to sleep. They arrived at the point that this is going to be disastrous. It's going to turn, New York into Uganda or whatever the fuck. And then they needed to work backwards and reverse engineer evidence of that. And the best he could do was somebody who's been here for most of their life talking about how, as a mother, she doesn't want to see policies that are tearing apart immigrant mothers and their children. And that's what he's leading with. That's what he's as you see, this is a global caliphate that's gonna turn New York into Kenya. And it's just a mom being appalled at how other mothers and their kids are being treated for being immigrants. The irony of somebody with an Irish surname, by the way, having this opinion, not lost on me. Not lost on me. Dude, up until like 80 years ago, you were barely considered a human. Mr. Walsh. Like, are you fucking kidding?
2 decades. She's still fixated on immigration as her top issue. She still refers to Kenya as her home. She's voting based on the interests, the best interests of Kenyans. No, that's all there is to it. I mean, it really is as simple as that. Do you think she cares in any way about the fact that Abigail Spanberger embraced Jay Jones after he joked about murdering the children of conservative politicians? A joke that, you know, was actually not really a joke. You think she cares about that at all? You think she spent even 1 second thinking about that? Do you think she'd flinch if Spanberger herself had literally...
He's so mad. Ooh, he's actually so mad. Again, just funny what we saw it with, God, I want to call him Chase Geiser and Owen Schroyer again. I've already forgotten the dude's fucking name. The fucking Temu Markiplier on InfoWars, but we saw the same thing of like, you know, hand waving away Republican group chats that had ties to actual elected officials, actual staffers, things that were very obviously not jokes. And if they were, are so much more unacceptable than anything Jay Jones said, talking about genocide, calling rape epic, shit like that. Whereas Jay Jones, even in the text, you can go and see by people's reaction to him, the fact that he responded with, lol. Was he making a joke in bad taste? Sure, yes. As somebody running for a seat, probably shouldn't have. Like, probably don't. Like, dark woke has its limits. That being said, dog, if you're gonna fucking sit here and be like, well, this is obviously not a joke, this is coming from the dude who puts theocratic fascist in his bio and then will constantly claim, Harrison Smith, that's who it was, constantly claim, well, yes, that's obviously just a joke because you're a dumb triggered lib. And it's like, pick a fucking lane, bro. Pick a fucking lane.
Murdered the child of a conservative politician? Of course not. I mean, the object of this woman and anyone like her is to advance their own national and ethnic interests. They don't pause to consider your interests. They don't care about you. They don't care about your country. They live here, but they don't care about it. Together with liberal women, foreigners now constitute the bulk of the Democrat Party's voting base. And this is a voting bloc that's extraordinarily potent and destructive. It's immune to any kind of negotiation. The foreigners are voting based on their own national and ethnic interests.
Foreigners and women. You gotta love the two things that'll scare the fuck out of a rugged alpha male dude, bro. People who look different and the ladies. Love to see it. No, like you absolutely need to fucking it's always so funny when you do the Matt Walsh voice. Unfortunately, here's the thing. Somebody asked me the other day, like, how do you do voices? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. And I thought about it a little bit more, and it comes down to, like, it's less about the voice and the intonation and more the mannerisms, which unfortunately mean that when I'm doing a Matt Walsh voice, I am also doing like a full body Matt Walsh impression. I do the same thing with Alex Jones. I do the same thing with Tucker. Like, it's very frustrating for me to realize I'm doing it. But yeah.
And the liberal women are voting based on, largely appeals to emotion and vibes. They're basically getting their entire political philosophy from those yard signs that say, no person is illegal. And one of those voters just spoke to Fox. Listen.
I think what's really important and standing out for me right now is if we can take ourselves like a high level, like not say immigration, not say economy, not say all the hot talking points, and just ask ourselves, how are we treating our neighbors? Like, how are we treating one another? And is it okay that yesterday, on Saturday, 42 million of our neighbors no longer can feed themselves? Is it okay that our neighbors are getting taken off the streets by ICE? Is it okay that gender-affirming care is being taken from young people who really need it to survive? Is it okay that the Supreme Court has now justified racial profiling?
Oh, the worst thing in the world for Matt to be confronted with the core tenets of the religion he espouses. Matt to be confronted with the idea of being empathetic to people who might have less than you. And he's like, look at this fucking bitch. Can you fucking believe? Look, this white woman, which again, they're doing the monolith thing where somehow this person and the Kenyan immigrant are one and the same. And this represents the entire voting bloc and the giant globalist plan or whatever the fuck. But like, Matt, she's just objectively correct. Under your system, under the system you are advocating for, people are less united. They are less healthy. They are less happy. They are less prosperous. Under Trumpism, under the conservative bullshit that you want, it doesn't work for everybody. So this is what happens when the rest of everybody who aren't just white men or people who have bought into these fantasies get together and they're like, okay, let's find something that actually does work for everything. Does work for everybody. Because we have enough resources as the richest nation on the planet, right? Which we constantly like to hear. We have the resources to make that eventuality a reality. I think one of the core things subliminally that people are realizing in Mamdani's campaign is that, like, we're simply choosing not to. Like, that's it. You can choose if you want to fight for everybody or your own self-interest and leave everybody else behind. And people like this do not want you to leave your friends and your neighbors behind. Whereas that is literally, like, was there not like an insane, unhinged college, like, blue-haired stereotype they could interview? Was there not one person that they could get on mic being like, yeah, no, Sharia law is coming and you better run, whitey, or whatever, to fucking fuel their fantasies? Even a sarcastic person. I'll take some sarcasm. Because the clips that they're picking for all of these people are just so normal that by comparison, it just makes their disproportionate reaction and catastrophizing about these people makes them look so much more disconnected with the core messages that got somebody like Zoran elected, that got people like Jay Jones elected. It is because people are fucking tired of the culture war bullshit. They're fucking tired of, like this lady says, not being able to feed their families. They're fucking tired of handouts to ally right-wing countries like fucking Argentina to the tune of $40 billion while Republicans don't want to fund SNAP, while they're defunding rural hospitals, while they're defunding Veterans Affairs. When another thing I talked about with Cameron today, I'm really excited for everybody to listen to that interview. But one of the things I talked about, or one of the things he was telling me about, was how he had just talked to a vet who was taken off healthcare because of a funding freeze in Texas. And they had been diagnosed with cancer and couldn't get the treatment they needed. Somebody who fought overseas for, they were told for their freedom, for our freedom, for defending America, for all this shit that we were sold, right? And we can't find the money for their cancer treatment. But we can find $40 billion in White House couch cushions, apparently, for somebody whose country is run by his incestuous witch sister and his dog. Okay. And that's the shit that Matt Walsh is defending. That's the status quo being upheld.
That's not my neighbor.
Now, New York has been in a state of decline for many, many years. John Rocker's infamous interview with Sports Illustrated, where he railed against all the foreigners making the city impossible to live in, was more than 25 years ago. But until recently, liberal women didn't have enough votes to sway elections based on vapid DNC-issued talking points and bumper sticker slogans. But what's changed is that in 2025, yet another reliably Democrat demographic has moved into New York. As of the most recent estimates from the mayor's office, 1 in 5 New Yorkers can't even speak the English language. More than 60% of children in New York live in a household with at least one foreign-born family member. Roughly 40% of New Yorkers were not born in this country. Half of all New Yorkers speak a language other than English at home. And these are all conservative estimates, by the way.
I would honestly love to know how those demographics have changed over time. Because New York has literally always been the capital THE hub of immigration in America. It is the fucking, seeing the Statue of Liberty. Your poor, huddled masses yearning to be free. It is everybody from the Irish fleeing a potato famine. Like Jews fleeing Germany. And I would be so curious to know how those demographics, not who came from Kenya, not who's coming from, Somalia or the Middle East or some other war-torn country that, again, American empire is probably at least some culpability responsible for. But how many people have just been immigrants in America? First generation, second generation. How many people know somebody who doesn't speak English that well as a first language? Because guess what? I'm willing to bet it hasn't actually changed that much. The demographics of the immigrants coming into America most certainly have over time. But arbitrarily based on who we think is white, who we think is good, who we think isn't. Because there was a time when New York was filled with Irish and Italian, primarily immigrants, and Jewish immigrants, who were completely ostracized, who were openly discriminated against. 150 years ago, Matt Walsh wouldn't have been allowed in some Catholic churches if he said his last name was Irish. He wouldn't have been allowed to conduct business because people would have discriminated against him, because they were afraid he was Irish. The idea well, so Jaden Hadley, America unfortunately was not actually receptive of Jews, not en masse, but Jewish people did come over and flee Europe well before like the quote unquote the final solution and the prison and extermination camps ramped up. But also Jewish people had been fleeing pogroms coming to America from, well north of Germany, from northern Europe, northeastern Europe, places around Russia and like stuff like that for a good long time. Yeah, there you go. My family emigrated from Czechoslovakia and Central Europe and Ireland through Ellis Island. Many such cases. My last name used to be something different. My legal last name used to be something different. It got changed to Ellis Island. Many such cases. Oh, man. It's almost adorable. Let's get through the rest of his little tantrum.
New York, as I've said before, is not an American city anymore. Nearly 50% of the population of Queens was not born in this country. Watch.
I think Queens is so interesting, Sean. You look at this, just for our viewers at home. Like, no matter where you're watching in America tonight, just stop and think about this for a moment. This is one of 5 boroughs, okay, in Queens. It's not even the most populated. In this particular borough, maybe you fly in the JFK, maybe you fly in LaGuardia, population 2.4 million. Foreign born, 48%. Languages spoken. In Queens alone, 160 different languages. When you study New York City, you're studying a country. Sean, you can literally cross the street and you find people with different ethnicity, different religion. They come from different parts of the world, and they certainly vote in very different ways, and you do not have to go far.
Yeah, and you know what? That is fucking terrifying to some people. I think it's beautiful. It's also why there is so much emphasis on the mayoral election, because New York City is such a massive commercial and cultural hub. This shit has repercussions. Like, people, I've heard a lot of people wondering, I was having a casual conversation, like, I don't know why anybody cares about the mayor in New York. And it's like, because it's not like the fucking mayor in bumfuck Idaho. Like, it's New York City. This is the big time. This is Broadway, so to speak. Nehemia, thank you very much for $10. Fun fact, the story of names being changed at Ellis Island is not usually true. People would enter the country and then change their own names to sound more American because it was frowned upon not to be. Fascinating. I would like to do more reading on that, actually. That is something, Ellis Island and the wait, hang on. I just saw something about the Italian dude. No, it's gone. I would... Yeah. I would be interested to read more about that. One of the largest cities in the world, the financial center of the world. Yeah, like, it is... It is a massive, massive thing. God, I would love to go to New York one day. Much as I love LA, I would love to one day maybe live in New York. I've never been. I have a lot of friends over there, though. I have so many people I know over there. I was talking about this with Rosa on the most recent podcast we did, which, by the way, if you haven't checked out the most recent video
in that neighborhood or on, that street
on the
to find
channel,
out.
please do.
Very interesting to study.
Now, these numbers represent a drastic shift in more ways than one. And don't listen to anyone who tries to tell you, oh, it's always been this way. New York has always had a significant immigrant population. It's been this way for many generations.
Okay, Mr.
Well,
Walsh.
yes, but
But
not
those
all
were
immigration
white.
is the same. You know, these immigrants are now coming from very different parts of the world compared to where they were coming from 100 years ago. You know, this
literally what he's saying. Literally, oh my God, dude. You gotta not be so fucking that's the word I'm looking for. Predictable, man. Predictable. Incredible. Like you might as well say, yeah, but those people came from white countries, not these places. Man.
chart prepared by VDARE demonstrates this, as you can see here. And according to the U.S. Census, New York was 98% white in 1910. 98%. 90% in 1950. 77% white in 1970. Then it dropped to 52%.
Hey. What is your damage, dog? Come here. Yeah, also what he was talking about, so it's literally what I was just saying, where like they now are saying, oh, the white population, 98% of people were white in New York. They were not called white at the time. Irish people, Italian people, I'm sure he's even including Jewish people in there. Not the same. Like people like you, Matt. God, it's so fucking frustrating. Yeah, like Serbs, Czechoslovakians, like the amount of people who came over who for decades were like, oh, you aren't actually white. Oh, you're like a mongrel race. Oh, you're like inherently stupid. But now because we want more racial propaganda, then it becomes like it's such a fascinating inversion of like a big tent policy where it's like as soon as we need to zhuzh some of the numbers, to massage some of the stats, yeah, everybody get in here. You're white enough. Yeah, come on. It's like when you see like kind of white passing Latinos joining like Nazi gangs and shit, and you're like, okay, I guess, because the Nazis will look at them, and this happens a lot in or happened a lot, and I'm sure it still does. But one of the things I learned when I was doing research on like prison gangs and white supremacist gangs for the white supremacy piece I did last year, is that like because in prison, you know, there are neo-Nazi gangs in prison. Because the Mexicans weren't black, or you know, the Latino gangs that would be broadly called Mexican, just weren't black, they would get the pass from the Nazis, even though they knew they were not white. And like it's such a bigotry is such a thin, it's an ideology not of conviction but of convenience. And it's so fucking frustrating to see it laid out so simply. Because people jump through so many hoops to buy into this shit wholesale, put their whole fucking heart in it. And then Matt is just right here being like showing the whole thing, Exhibit A. That is just like, yeah, it has always been this way. But no, actually now these people are the real white ones. It is a constant shifting goalpost. I love it. Yeah, this is just Nick Fuentes. It is. Yeah, Nick Fuentes. It was the fucking... So again, I've been working on a piece on Destiny. And that means I've also been watching a lot of his conversations and debates with like Aiden Ross, Nick Fuentes, Sneeko. First off, Aiden Ross, I've never watched for any extended period of time. Somebody who I am legitimately amazed does not drown like trying to take a sip of water. Somebody who seems so impossibly stupid that I don't understand how he doesn't like breathe and not choke. Incredible. Modern anomaly. Somebody should study his brain so it never happens again. But then Nick Fuentes, and this is something Destiny actually pointed out. The problem with Destiny is that there are so many times where he gets it right, and a lot of time, and it's usually outside of his debating. Like, the debating is not the problem I have with Destiny most of the time. But one of the things he correctly fucking got Nick on one time was like, you're part Irish, part Italian, part Mexican. You are literally just all shit that people wouldn't accept as white, and this is your white heritage. And it's just like, yeah. Anywho, chat, I have to get going. I want to thank everybody. I'm going to be trying to stream longer on Friday. I'm still getting over, I'm not sick anymore, but I'm still getting over being sick, and I can already feel my throat closing up a little bit from doing funny voices and whatnot. If y'all wouldn't mind hitting the like, subscribe, follow button, all that fun stuff. Did I see... Hang on. We could go... Let's go say hi to Surus. We haven't said hi to Surus in a minute. And thank you all so much. Stay tuned to the channel. We have a lot of really good interviews and videos coming up. I have like I said, an interview with a Senate candidate, a progressive Senate candidate out of Texas. I have an interview coming up with the trans rapper Damage that I'm very excited to keep putting together. A lot of other videos I'm working on right now, and I hope you look forward to them all. I want to thank everybody so much for all of the financial support, for all of the help with the computer and stuff. I cannot wait to be able to plug it in, transfer everything over, and actually hit the ground running on eventually upgrading it, but having a much more stable way to stream, to play games on stream, to have multiple applications open. It's going to be a game changer. So I want to thank everybody for help with that. And I hope you all have